Okay, I made it. Kinda. One, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. I'm gonna do a mic check at the beginning of every single one of these. Am I being heard? Okay, I think I'm being heard. Perfect. Welcome to Mastermind Academy. Welcome to day 2. First off, I love all the chatter already. B. Edwards, Ben, how you doing today? Day 2 of freedom. Absolutely. Day 2 of freedom. Freedom is absolute freedom. But yeah, no, day 2 was good. Day 2 was busy day. I actually just got home. Today I went to the office today to work out of the office. Really good. But I lost track of time. I ended up meeting with somebody that I was supposed to meet with, and I forgot that you have to travel and commute. So I had to rush back, but I made it back with enough time to get a little luckily we already had food ready. We cooked out on the grill this weekend, so had to scarf down a little burger, a little hot dog, a little bit of sides, but I'm good to go. Got my water, I'm ready. So you might see me sweat a little bit. I was running up and down the stairs, and the sweatshirt is pretty warm, but I'm gonna leave it on right now because NASA matches NASA. Okay, I just want you all to know that I love space. Okay. What's up? Just like dancing rollers, good to see you. Incognito Bear, yep, it sure is different. B Dougie, yo, again, thank you so much for the raid coming in. I don't know if you're probably not still here because you raided pretty early. Amazing timing, but thank you. I do appreciate it if you are still here. Just like dancing, I'm glad you weren't the only one here. Y'all are making way better time than I'm making. So good job. Let's see. Who else do we have in here? Zosam, how are you doing? T-Trinks, how are you doing? Good to see you. I'm doing good. Yes, Doc Jones, there is a syllabus. I'm about to show it to you. If you go to academy.mastermind.io/decoded, it will take you to the 8-week outline, but we're about to go over it in a second, but I'll send you the link as well. Is anyone attending Ignite? Yes. Bert, how you doing? I did sign up for Ignite. I watched some of it today, but I also watched some DevOps World stuff, some of the CloudBees DevOps World stuff today as well. I posted it in the Discord. Pretty good. I heard a couple of good talks at both, but I will be spending, I'll leave Ignite on in the background pretty much all day tomorrow while I'm getting some stuff done. Let's see. Is anyone gonna buy that new Microsoft Surface board or whatever that's like $21,000? We might have to get one. I mean, I can't afford it. I might have to sell a kidney or something, but it'll be cool. We can, it's better than the iPad. It's bigger than the iPad. It might be kind of cool. See what happens. I'm waiting for them to release a Surface Studio 3. If they release a Surface Studio 3, I might actually get a Surface Studio 3 though, because it makes sense for some of the things that we do. Just kind of the workflow and the way that I can draw right on the screen that I'm working on. That'd be pretty cool. All right, so what's up, CLD? How are you doing? What's up, Uber King Kong? I like it. Foreign 6 Expert, how are you doing? Let's see who else we got in here. Sin City, good to see you. 2 days in a row, absolutely. Comsci Silvercoin. Wait, Comsci Oliver. Man, that was bad. That was a little bit of what we call tech dyslexia. I tried to read it really fast, and I don't know where I got Silvercoin from, but Comsci Oliver, welcome to the channel. Staying hydrated, you got to do it. Caramel Lightning, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime sub. Definite Optimist, how are you doing? Sudo, I like it. That is that's how you gotta say it. It is Sudo. Is this a course you're teaching or learning? I'm teaching this course. We're gonna go over it. Yep, we are gonna be going starting a new journey. This is the journeyman level of Decoded, so part 2. Earlier in the year we did a part 1, a 12-week course. I think it was 12 weeks. Introduction to, actually I think we did the introduction to coding with Python to start. And then I think we did a Decoded, which was a little more introduction to computer science and software engineering topics. And this is the journeyman level of that. I have been following the hype around Next.js. I'm a huge fan of anything server-side rendering. As someone who is, has spent a lot of time on the ops side of things, server-side rendering is phenomenal. And any technology that allows you to do it easily, I'm for it. So yeah, I have been following Next.js for sure. I was actually planning on doing some things with it. I'm sorry that you were here for pipelines, but you know, I appreciate that. You know, grab yourself some food. You know, if you just want to, like, you know, leave it on the background, I completely understand. I completely get it. The Python course is on YouTube. There's a decoded playlist and an introduction to Python playlist on YouTube. If you want to hop in and see that, just do !YouTube and you can see that. Searching and sorting algorithms on Syllabus. Yep. Never forget having to learn them. Yep, we're going to be spending a little more time with algorithms this time. Specifically those two. We're going to spend, I learned a little bit from last time and the amount of time that you spend in each topic. And so we're going to spend an entire week on searching and sorting. I think it's helpful, especially with those types of algorithms, to do more than one example. We'll do them in a couple different languages as well. We're going to be hopping around different languages here as well. Register, go back to school. Employer will cover 100% of the cost. That's dope. K-Merc, that's 100% of the cost. You know, if anyone's willing to pay for you to do anything, you should probably do it. I love it. What's up, Melky Dev? Good to see you. Shout out to Melky Dev. Melky Dev is another streamer. How are you doing today? Let's see if I can type this right. There we go. I think I got it. Oh, that's great. That is excellent. Docker is, you know, Docker is what I love. Container technologies, but you know, Docker has a soft spot in my heart. I love it. I'm glad. I'm always excited to hear when people have been doing a little bit of Docker. Trying to deploy with Nginx DigitalOcean. I'm slowly dying. All right, if you need some help, we can, like, you're asking the questions that are right up my alley. Right up my alley. This is, I can definitely help you out with that. It's actually surprisingly easy, but Nginx configuration upon your first foray into it can be a little bit complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. Hey, I mean, like I said, we should definitely, I'm willing to help out any way that I can. Now that I have time to help out. Almost done with a Redis certification. I didn't even know they had that, but that's pretty dope. Redis is a cool tool and product. All right, so let's hop over really quick to find out what it is that we're going to be doing today. Like I said, I'm just getting set up because I got home a little bit late, but it's okay. You know, no big deal at all. You know, I'll eventually stop sweating. It's fine. But let's go ahead and add today's slides. We do have a couple slides today. I will say today is going to be pretty chill. In comparison to what we learned yesterday. So if you were here yesterday, you're gonna be a little bit bored by some of the intro stuff. We're gonna breeze, I promise you, we're gonna breeze through that stuff. The parts today, you know, yesterday we got into, you know, what is DevOps, SRE, all that stuff. Today, we're just going to be talking about what we're gonna be doing over the next 8 weeks. You know, real nice syllabus day stuff, introduce people who are new to Twitch, just a little bit about that as well. But then we'll dive into getting, you know, if you don't have a text editor, I'm assuming most people here have a text editor and stuff set up. But if not, we'll just go over just recommendations and some of that stuff. And then we're going to get the runtimes installed. And I think that's a good process because even if you know how to, there are, you know, we're utilizing more than one language here. We're going to be, we'll go over the slides, but we're going to be doing JavaScript, Python, Rust, and Golang, or Go. It's not called Golang, it's called Go. But just getting those things set up and just making sure that we're ready to go, I think is going to be helpful for a lot of people. And especially because, you know, everyone who's learning how to code is not well versed in Linux. Or kind of, you know, understand how to set some stuff up on their system. So we'll give people, that's all we're gonna really do today. That get your text editor set up, get some development environment stuff set up. I'll show you all how to get set up the same way that I'm set up with Vim or VS Code. Have you install the extensions and things that I think that'll be helpful for this. But it'll be super chill tonight. No need to stress out, but it'll give you, you know, 2 days to kind of get yourself together if you are going to have issues with that. So let me first get the link out here. Let's update the slides command. Anyone with the link, copy link, slides, edit. Oh no, commands, edit, slides, and we'll paste this in. All right, you can exclamation point slides to get the slides link. I also just pasted the slides link. Let's also throw this into our Notion page as well. Should we be working on Linux? No, you can work on whatever You can work on whatever you want to work on, but what you can also do, I'm going to show everyone as well, if you aren't comfortable setting some of the stuff up on your computer, there's websites to do it. People showed me REPL.it last time. There's CodePen. There's a couple of options that I'll show you if you do not want to work off of your computer. If you have Linux, great. Nowadays, you know, whatever works for you works. So let me put these on the, what are we doing? The decoded page really quick. Not apprentice. We want this. Let's go to the bottom. Let's go heading 1, slides, and we'll go week 1. And I'll just paste this here. So now if you go to academy.mastermind.io, I really just need to set up a command for this. Actually, hold on. Let's go decoded commands, add decoded, and we'll go : /academy.mastermind.io/decoded. All right, so now you can do !decoded if you ever need to get back to the web page that gives us everything that's happening during this. It is a Notion page, which I just updated it. So if anyone is watching from YouTube, watching this the day after or whatever, you can check this out. You can get to the slides at the bottom of the Notion page. So make sure you go to that. So let's get into it a little bit to get started so we can get out of here as fast as possible. Last night I said we would get out early. I always say we're gonna get out early. Today we're going to get out early. Today's topics, very simple. And what happened to my slides? Am I in the right slides? Hold on, this is not, is this the right slides? Something happened. Something happened here. Wait. I wonder. All right, we will figure it out. That's really weird. Let me look through really quick. Hold on. Maybe, is my laptop not connected to the internet? Let's see. It says decoded 1. When's the last time it was updated? 3 hours? It's like it didn't sync all my stuff, but it's okay. All we're doing today is we are doing, this is weird. I'm sorry about this. Let's get rid of this over here. We should still be fine. I think like half of the stuff is here, but like half of it's not. What is this? This is still the DevOps stuff, but what is this? This is the decoded stuff. This, and it only has the, okay, it's fine. It's completely fine. I got you guys covered. Really weird. Now, how do I get off of this edit page? Oh, here we go, back. All right, all we're gonna do is dev environment setup. And we are going to install runtimes. And so we're about to look over all the stuff that we're doing with this. Super weird, but really quick. Oh, it says decode. So that is a great question. This is decoded week 1, like part 1 of 16. But you are correct, High Tech. This is part 2 of all this. That's good. That's gonna make me rethink naming. You know, we always say in software development, naming is one of the hardest things to do when it comes to variables and function names. So this is all we're doing today. Syllabus day, talk about what we're gonna be doing over the next 8 weeks so that you know what to expect. Get our dev environment set up and get all of our runtimes set up. So let's hop straight into it. Who, what, where, when, why. Most of us have seen this. So if you're new to this, I'm sorry, I'm gonna run through this very quickly because I don't wanna bore everybody. So my name is Aaron, Aaron. That is me. You can call me Aaron, or you can call me Aaron, or you can call me Brooksy, or you know, any term of endearment. You know, it's fine. You know, it's okay. I'm a former technical lead as of Friday. So, you know, I just left my technical lead and DevOps engineer role. I was leading a team of software developers, a team of, what do we have? We have like 3 devs, like a designer, QA, like a scrum team. But I was the technical lead there. But I've had a number of infrastructure jobs. I do come from an infrastructure background. So yeah, that's where kind of my expertise lies. I'm a 90s baby. I was born in 90. And again, I only tell people that because, you know, some of my isms and the things that I like, you can see Pokemon and stuff on the wall. That matters. Now you know a little bit about why I like some of that stuff. I love cars and motorsports. I actually have a track day coming up, which I'm pretty excited about. It's going to be really great. But I like cars and motorsports. If you want to talk cars or motorsports, I love them both. I love video games as well. I forgot to share this last night, but here you go. This person who just spoke in the chat, Stone Cold Stream Austin. This is my game streaming account. I've like streamed like twice on that account. You know, not a big deal at all, but I am going to start playing some games with my friends on there. If you like games, you know, come on and say hello. It's not to make money. I'm not streaming to make money. I think it's just gonna be a fun thing to do while I'm winding down from everything else. But we will be streaming there. Grand Tension, what car do I track with? Right now I have a Focus RS. So my skills aren't really good enough to, Focus RS has its track problems, but my skills aren't really good enough yet to, to hit those problems yet. It's got a lot of overheating issues, especially with the rear diff. But I'm still learning a lot. So play, you can see the wheel back here. I do play some racing sims as well. But I like motorsports. Favorite car is a phenomenal question. I'm a simple guy. My favorite car as of right now, that like I just really want, and all around looks, both looks, performance, everything, is the C7 Corvette, but specifically the Grand Sport package, not the Z06. Too much power. I've driven a Z06. I don't think I could ever control a Z06. Way too much power. The Grand Sport, phenomenal, great car. I love the way it looks, so good. It's just, it's beautiful. I really like the C7 Corvettes. I thought I was gonna love the C8s. I do like them, but not as much as I like the C7s. But that is probably my favorite car, for sure. All right, 90s, like born in the 90s. Yes, correct, like born in the 90s. I was born in 90. I was born with 6 fingers on my left hand. This is just a fun fact about me, and that is technically a mutation, so I would be eligible for the X-Men if they were a thing. I mean, I also probably would have been recruited, by the people who, the Umbrella Academy guy, the billionaire who was like, hey, all you fancy children, come on, and I'm gonna adopt you. He would have adopted me because, I would have been, of course it would have given me some amazing powers, but I don't have it anymore. I had it when I was a baby, and I think my mom said they like tied a string around or something ridiculous. I think she was messing with me. I have no idea what happened to it, but I was told I was born with 6 fingers. I like Android and Spotify over iOS and Apple Music. The sweet tunes you're hearing right now are in fact Spotify, because I've been a paying Spotify customer. I'm proud of that fact for a very long time, like for an extremely long amount of time. But now I do use a lot of YouTube music as well, because they have everything, but the app is kind of trash and the music quality isn't as good. But you get what you get. You use the tool for the job when it matters. But that's where you're hearing it from. You're hearing it from Spotify right now, if you were wondering. This is specifically the Harris Heller's Stream Beats Synthwave, because we need royalty-free music so that YouTube doesn't pull this down. So these are playlists that this guy makes, and they're all royalty-free, and I won't get any DCMAs, hopefully. I like pancakes over waffles. Pancakes are far superior. They're amazing. They're so good, even though I don't eat them often. I don't eat pancakes often, but I do enjoy pancakes more than waffles. And dogs, in fact, are better than cats. This is a fact. This is a fact, Jack. And I'm not someone who's speaking from never having owned cats. I grew up with cats. They were my cats. I do like cats. I'm not saying I dislike cats at all. But dogs are better than cats. Everyone's like, oh, cats take care of themselves. No, they don't. No, they don't. They get mad when you don't show them attention, and they pee on your stuff, and their pee, it just stays, it just stains. Like, you got to get rid of, like, your cat pees on something, you got to get rid of it. There's nothing you can do. We used to have to wear blazers to school. Cat peed on my blazer, you know, I was known as cat pee boy. Okay, I mean, it was fine. It was a term of endearment. I had friends, but you know, they're like, hey man, you smell like cat pee sometimes. I was like, I know, because it is cat pee. Okay, this is why I don't like cats as much as dogs. I do in fact prefer dogs, but they are both great. We have she can probably hear me, but there's a woman next door, older woman. She's amazing. She's a kind woman, but she feeds these cats. She feeds all the neighborhood cats, and they just hang out there now. Not a good thing, but so, you know, we have some, you know, they're not scared of us anymore, and they just sit on they like sleep on our stoop, and it's like, you know, I still like you cats, but you know, you need to move, because I'm scared that you're gonna pee on my door. That's what I'm scared of. Okay, dogs are way more needy. I do agree with you. Dogs are way more needy. Okay, so that's enough about me. That's who I am. If you want to know more about me, feel free to ask questions. I'm mostly an open book. Sometimes you'll hear my wife coming in and out. I'm married. I have an amazing wife. We've been together for a long time. We've only been married for 3 years. I think 3 years. The years, you know, 3 years. We've been together for like 10 or 11. We met at the beginning of college, so you know, we've been building our lives together for a long time. But you'll see her. She'll come in and out. She's a great woman. Say hi to her when she does come through. Besides that, I'm a normal guy, you know, just over here, just dreaming about racing and, you know, playing my video games like a lot of people do. Learn a little bit about tech. But cool. The what and the why, though. The what and the why is, this is Mastermind Academy. You are watching Mastermind Academy. This is a branch. This is a piece of the business that I do run. I run a company called Mastermind. That is what I left my role on Friday to run Mastermind full time. Mastermind is a full technical talent pipeline company. So it's attacking the technical talent deficit. You know, helping both people and organizations, you know, meet their technical needs, and kind of understanding how to help people get into those roles, and how to help companies, you know, be able to build sustainable engineering teams as well. There's a lot that comes with that. Do some recruiting and placement, as well as consulting, helping teams build out their engineering teams and grow their engineering teams as well. But this is Mastermind Academy. This is my true love. This is really what I want to do. All of that stuff is simply there so that I can do this. That stuff is the big money maker, so that I can do this and teach people tech, have fun teaching people tech, building things together. But what this is just a boot camp style training series. It's been going on for about a year. I think we started August of last year, and it has 2 pieces. It's journeys and it has excursions. You are tuned into a journey right now. Journeys are longer bootcamp style series, so they're 8 to 12 weeks, and they're on a number of topics. We do one for cloud computing called Horizons, cloud computing with AWS. We do one with DevOps and SRE and infrastructure called Pipelines. That's what's on Monday and Wednesdays right now. We do this one for software engineering and computer science. There's one coming for specifically web development. People always ask me, why are you separating software engineering and web development? Because I think to be a good hireable web developer, these skills matter for sure. You need to know these skills, but we do need to focus on some of those web technologies. You will learn a little bit about web programming here. You'll see that in a second. But excursion, so that's the ones that are on the docket for right now. There's a few more coming. So if anyone's interested in things like design, like UX and UI, user-centered design, there's some design stuff coming. I will not be teaching those, but there's some design stuff coming along as well. So the goal is to provide full scope access to things that support software delivery, because that's a booming industry that we'll need forever, kind of like healthcare now. Yeah, so there also might be some stuff about, like, we'll do a couple smaller sessions and stuff as well. That's where the excursions fall in. So journeys, big level topics, longer things. Excursions are shorter, you know, usually 2 to 3 weeks. On a very specific topic, so diving deep into the things that we couldn't go deep in during the journey. So we've done a Git masterclass, and we did something on Docker. We did one on Linux. We did one on Kubernetes, which we didn't finish, which we're going to finish up. But there are a few of those. There will be many excursions over time, and they'll be peppered in between the journeys. So the schedule is actually going to switch up a bit as we move on. So those are the 2 options that you have. Great question. Yes, the streams are uploaded to YouTube once we're done, 24 hours after, because that's how long it has to be. It'll be between 24 and 48 hours. The reason why it's going to be 24 to 48 hours is because, one, I have, because I do the starting soon stuff, people on YouTube hate that starting soon stuff is there. So I have to trim that off, and then I have to render it out. These streams are usually 2 to 3 hours, and so that takes a little while to render. My computer's pretty powerful, but it's time consuming, and so I've got to take the time to do that and render it out. But they'll get up between 24 and 48 hours after. You can also watch them here on Twitch for up to 14 days. So if you miss anything, don't sweat it. Give yourself a little bit of time, and you can watch it. Is there another level after journeys, like Super Saiyan levels? So great question, A, and I need to be more clear about this. I'm actually redoing the entire site right now, so we're gonna take a look at the site in a second. Almost all of the journeys will have 3 levels. The only one that does not have 3 levels is Pipelines. Pipelines has 1 level, but it's got 2 different iterations of it. So we're actually going to run another Pipelines that's different from this one, and it's basically going to be a similar course, different infrastructure, and we're going to apply solutions in a different way. All the other boot camps, all the other journeys have 3 levels. So there's a apprentice level, which is the starter level. Those are the ones we did earlier in the year. If you're new, earlier in the year we did the level 1 to these things. These are the introductory things. This is kind of fundamental and foundational concepts in these things. And so this, where we're at now, is the journeyman level, so intermediate level. And so now we're learning intermediate concepts. We're basically taking those foundational things and we're starting to learn how to apply these things practically. And then in the advanced level, that's going to be the master level, mastermind. Yes, it's gonna be the master level. That is going to be more advanced concepts in whatever the topic is. And like I said, every journey besides Pipelines will have those 3 levels. Working on a way to differentiate them a little bit better and all the other stuff. Aya, the cloud native thing, absolutely. That might fall out of, the cloud native thing might actually create a new category of trainings. So we will talk about that as we do that. We cover config, like cookie cutter. I actually have no idea what cookie cutter is, but I'll look it up in a second. And maybe we are going to cover something like that, or something that falls in the same realm. Cookie cutter, config. What can I search for that? What is it in? Let's see what cookie cutter is, so I can tell you if we're going to be using something like cookie cutter. They're using Gitbook to do this. Interesting. Which is great. Open source sponsor PyCon, cross-platform command line utility that creates projects. Oh, this is cool. No, we weren't going to do anything like this, but it's actually cool, and I might actually check this out before next time, because you're going to learn how to make command line applications on Thursday. So this is actually really good. It's cool. Would be good to have a certificate of completion. Working on it. That is something I hope to have for you, because the beginner level courses will generally have like homework and things. Right now, the next 2 levels don't. They will have some projects and things for you to work on, but I think that people are here for the specific skills in the intermediate and advanced levels. But yes, that is absolutely something we are working on, hoping to get that to you. Okay, so that's the difference between journeys and excursions. Journeys, longer, higher level concepts. Excursions, generally specific concepts or technologies, and they are shorter. Why of this? Why are we doing this? Simply because I honestly believe that anyone who wants to learn tech should have the access to do so. And so there are a number of barriers that keep people from learning technology. One, being able to being around anyone who knows tech is one. That's part of the reason why we're doing this on Twitch. People can find us here. 2, cost. Cost is a barrier as well. It can cost a lot to learn some of these things. 3, money. We just talked about cost. Time is another one. There are tons of videos and things out there. These videos aren't short, so I definitely understand that, but because of the nature of recording, people can watch them whenever they need to watch them. But that last piece, that time piece, goes into the second part of the why, is that learning tech can be hard as well, and it can be very difficult to do on your own. It can be discouraging to do on your own. So I simply believe that we should do it together, and we should have the space to do it together. That's all. That's the reason why we're here. You know, tech has been the technical industry has been you know, it's been good to me. And I think there's, you know, a lot of space for people to join, especially since their jobs are heavily outpacing the amount of people who are going into it, because tech moves so fast. You know, if you're willing to pick up the skills, you can change your life. You can change not only your life, you can change your entire lineage. I mean, I know people who went from making, you know, jobs where their top level salaries were going to be around $45,000, and you know, in 3 or 4 years they were making 90, 100 grand with, you know, a much higher ceiling for what they can make. So, you know, it can really change what you can do. So that's all. That is all we're doing. What part of this course uses JavaScript? A lot of it. Almost it's a great question. One, we'll probably do the entire API portion, and we'll do a lot of it in JavaScript, but we're going to do a lot of the things in different languages. We're going to implement the same solution with different languages so people can start to see some of the differences, because I think that's super important when we're talking about some of these things. All right, the where and the when. Well, we're gonna be here. This is where everything's gonna be. This class in particular is on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 p.m. Eastern time to around 9ish. Most of the time it will be between 9 and 9:30. We'll fall in that category. I'll try to make sure to 9:30 is the absolute, you know, very end of this, but I'll try to keep everything, I'll try to get things down to 2 hours because your time is important. And yeah, 9 to 9:30. I want everyone who's not in the Discord already, please hop over to the Discord, do !Discord, and you can get the link. We will be there all day, every day, or you can put things there all day, every day. There's a number of channels and things set up. Should be, I actually don't know if I set up a channel for this. Let's see. Don't switch. Is there anything for Decoded? There is. So there, underneath Decoded, there's discussions, questions, and resources. You can go in here to just have any kind of discussions, or if you have any questions that don't get answered during the stream, or that you don't want to ask in the chat on stream, you can ask them here, and you know, we can all answer them. And resources, I will post resources as resources come up. Like for pipelines, you know, we posted some stuff about DevOps World. I should post some stuff about Ignite as well, so people can go to some free conferences and stuff like that. So hop over to Discord. It's a good place for us to do some things. When you do get there, you know, put a little bit about yourself in the intros. I do read all of those, and it's good to meet as many of you as I can. And then also paste your GitHub, if you have a GitHub, into the GitHub channel as well. And I encourage each other to, you know, give people, go give people's profile a little star, a little likey, give them a follow, get to know each other a little bit, and let's have a little bit of fun. The She Boss, welcome. You know, it's been so long. It's been so long because I didn't stream for an entire week, which is a little bit weird, but it's good to see you. You know, it feels great to have you in here. When your name pops up, I'm like, you know, it feels like family, you know. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the gifted sub. It's Ghastly. You're the lucky winner today. The She Boss is one of the most generous people on this channel. She drops in all the time and gives some subs, so please give her a little bit of a thank you. All right, so that's the where and the when. Twitch intro. Again, we're moving through this pretty quickly. Anyone new to Twitch, Twitch is generally a gaming platform. They opened it up to allow people to do more than just game on it as well, so people have been doing so. There are a number of people here in the science and technology section who stream all kinds of content. If you want to learn how to build apps and things, if you want, like, people are doing all kinds of stuff on here. Some people are teaching, you know, a lot of people are doing some really cool things. Check people out. But yeah, it's just a game streaming platform that we are utilizing to do other things. Why are we here instead of somewhere else? Twitch has, by far, for live streaming, it's got the best platform right now for it. The amount of interaction you can have, the types of engagement, the types of integrations it has with things like Discord are kind of unparalleled in the streaming space. You know, YouTube just doesn't have it. Facebook just doesn't have it. Like, so it's kind of the best way, the best place. Mixer kind of had some of the stuff, but then Mixer shut down because they were throwing money everywhere, and yeah, you know, people just weren't watching. But yeah, that's why we're here. The only thing you really need to know about Twitch is there if you want to skip ads or you want to support the channel, there's a button in the top right for subscriptions. Subscriptions are a monthly thing. They do cost money. I think it's the cheapest is $5. It goes all the way up to $25. You get some things like emotes and stuff for them for doing that. It's not required at all. There won't be any payment ever required for Mastermind Academy. That's not to say I won't ever do a paid training, but anything on Mastermind Academy never require a fee. But you can support that way if you'd like. If you do have Amazon Prime, you do get a free subscription per month, and you can link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch channel and subscribe to the channel that way as well. And the other thing was, if you see people typing in commands into the chat, those are the things that start with an exclamation point. If you want to get a list of things that you can type in, you can type in exclamation point commands, and it will give you a link to the list of commands. What commands allow you to do is to get information on your own without having to ask. If you want to find out certain things, then generally I would put in a command for it. And as people come into the channel, there's a lot of things people want to know on a consistent basis, like, hey, what are you doing here today, or like, what's the website I need to go to, or something like that. So we generally add commands for stuff like that, so you can check that list to see if there's anything you want to check to get any information that you might need. So that's Twitch. That's probably everything you need to know about Twitch right there. Moving on, let's get into the good stuff. So what are you here for? We are doing Decoded, the journeyman level of Decoded. We are doing level 2 of Decoded. What's up, Sajin? How are you doing? Good to have you. We're doing level 2. So, first off, maybe we should take a look at. Actually, I don't think I have the syllabus for the first session. I think I actually hit it, but it's behind Nginx right now. Okay, but in the first level of this, we learned kind of the core fundamentals of computer science and programming. We learned about functions, we learned about variables, we learned about classes, we learned about functional programming versus object-oriented programming. We learned a little bit about algorithms, not a ton. We learned about some basic data structures and data collection items, arrays and things like that, and lists. We learned just all those core concepts that you kind of need to get moving. The goal here in this one is to take those tools and start to apply them practically in ways that you're going to be using them in the workspace. So, Decoded, 8-week journey into the world of software engineering and computer science. By the end of this journey, you can expect to have learned some of the following here. So one is how to use your foundational software knowledge to solve popular algorithmic challenges. Now, this is not particularly an algorithms course. Again, we'll spend 2 weeks focusing on different types of algorithms. Some people have asked me, like, oh, why are you focusing on that? The reason why we're going to need to focus on some algorithmic things, I'll be 100% honest with you. 85% of the industry, you're not going to be using those algorithms to solve problems in real life, like at the actual job. 85% of jobs, of roles, you won't be doing that. But in many more roles, you will be solving algorithmic problems like this to get the job. Unfortunately, it's I don't think it's always a great way to for companies to determine whether or not you are good, but companies absolutely use these algorithmic problems to determine your skill set and your worth. So it's important that we do learn how to approach them and learn some of the popular algorithmic paradigms for us to solve problems with. We're going to learn how to build tools to use from the CLI. I don't know why I spelled that wrong. So we're going to do that literally on Thursday. We'll learn how to build CLI tools. So if you've ever been interested in that, we're going to be doing that. It's funny because Prime actually tweeted earlier about he regrets not learning more CLI tools. And I was like, you don't need to know that many if you're going to, if you can build them, which is, not really all that true, but we'll learn how to do that because that's a thing that you probably will have to do. We'll learn about APIs, kind of what they are and how we can write code to interact with them. We're also going to learn in there how to build APIs as well. That's really important. we're gonna get an understanding of SQL and NoSQL databases and how we can utilize them when building applications. So you'll learn about what they are, when to use them, and we will learn SQL as well here. We'll spend a day learning SQL. So you're not going to be a SQL pro at the end of that, but you will understand, how to utilize databases, how to stick information in there, how to get information out, how to, put together queries, and understand the difference between getting data from each of these types. We'll learn how to utilize concurrency to create more efficient applications. So we will spend some time doing things that are better suited for concurrent processing. So we'll spend some time with that. And the biggest thing here is that we're going to learn how to synthesize what we've learned into a way that can help you land a job. And what does that mean? That means we're going to learn, again, we're going to use the terms. We're going to learn how to speak about what we know. We're going to learn how to speak about what we're learning, so that we can take in this information and we can convey it to the people who are interviewing us so that we can land a job using these skills. Whether or not you want to be a software engineer or not, these skills will help you a lot of places in the tech industry. So we're going to, these skills will also help you no matter what you're doing as well. So that's what we're going to be doing. Thank you for the follow, Neon Vortex Chalice. I like that. So that's a good name. OKMBO. I'm just gonna go with that. Welcome, James freaking Carr. Welcome to the channel as well. Okay, Cunning, Jaco Box. Man, there's a lot of people. Grev Death. Sorry I missed all of you. And Sajin, welcome to the channel. Good to have everybody. All right. So real quick, let's actually look at the outline here. So this is level 2 of this, and that's okay. If you're like, oh no, like I'm, don't know level 1, I do think that will make things more difficult for you, but I absolutely don't think you can, I think you can still get tons out of it. I don't know why this isn't loading, but I will figure that out in a second. It's loading here, but there is a playlist here if you want to go through and see some of the stuff. A lot of content here. Don't sweat it. You don't need to just go straight through it, but what you can do is pick bits and pieces as we're moving on to new sections. Maybe pick up some concepts, or go back and review some concepts that you may want to learn, or use whatever resource is available to you to pick up what you want to learn. I highly encourage you to use whatever resources you have available to you to find out some of that information as well. So here's the curriculum. Week 1, this is what we're going to be doing this week, and we broke it down by weeks instead of each day, to give a little more flexibility, one, in the types of things that we can do, but also I think it's better for everyone if we focus on a set of topics for the entire week, rather than trying to squeeze things in a specific day. And I think this is going to allow for some really cool things to happen. But week 1, syllabus day, we're gonna knock that out. We're gonna knock out development environment setup today as well, and runtime installations. This is just gonna be getting the coding languages that we are gonna be using installed, and then we will spend all of Thursday learning how to build CLI tools. We will build a CLI tool, if not 2 CLI tools, and I'll give you a little prompt to possibly build a third on your own if you like to build the third, or the second if we only finish one. Week 2, we're gonna focus on the web. So we're not gonna learn all about web, like we're not gonna learn everything there is to know about web development, but you're gonna learn a little bit about how the web works and how you build applications for the web, and understanding those protocols, and understanding how how making these requests work. And we're gonna learn all about APIs as well. We're gonna build an API, and we're gonna learn how to access these APIs. Week 3, we're going to dive into data structures, more advanced data structures, all your linked lists and all your interesting things. We're gonna spend an entire week on data structures. And so you might say, oh, what are we gonna do for an entire week with data structures? We will be solving some algorithms. We'll learn about them. We'll use them in practical ways, but we'll also use these data structures to solve algorithmic problems that utilize these data structures. Then we're gonna learn all about searching algorithms, then all about sorting algorithms. So you get a lot of practice throughout this week for searching algorithms and learning how to do those and how to approach those. We'll also talk about how to do these things on a whiteboard. Same thing for sorting algorithms as well. So these will be basically the 3 algorithmic weeks here. And then we'll hop in back into the a little more practical things and understanding the databases. And so this will be kind of cool. And ORMs. Then we'll learn about concurrent programming. We'll spend an entire week on concurrent programming because there's a number of concepts in here that we need to learn. Then in the last week, we're going to learn, we're going to basically start to synthesize everything that we've been learning, talk about how to approach whiteboarding a little bit more, learn how to talk about what we do know. Also learn how to talk about what we don't know. We'll do some interview prep and we'll have another AMA panel. So we'll speak to a couple of engineers and where you can kind of ask them anything about their experience in the industry. It's usually pretty fun. And we'll have, maybe 4 to 6 people on there. So that is what we're going to be covering over the next 8 weeks. Should be fun. Also the win, if we should have to miss any day. So, now this is a complete priority of mine, but things happen, life happens. If something does happen and we miss a day, makeup days will be on Fridays and Sundays. So Sundays is going to be the primary makeup day. So, I understand everyone can't make up on Sunday, but we'll put it on there. If we have to do any makeups, I will put those up immediately. As soon as we're done streaming, I will put those up on social media. On YouTube immediately. Yeah, and so I'll let you guys know if we ever have to make up any classes where they'll be. So will we get the chance to practice code challenges? Yes, we'll do a number of them together. I'll also provide some to you. There will also be a few code challenges per day if you join the Discord. That you can dive into that get posted to the resources section automatically. So that's exciting. Not really all that exciting, but that'll be exciting. And we are also going to, when we get to the algorithm section, I will start to add people to the exorcism.io team that we have. And yeah. But yes, I will try to give as much feedback as I can. But we as a community should be giving each other feedback on things. So what I do want people to do is, as they are working through coding challenges, one, if you can work with other people on them, I highly encourage you to do so. I really like that someone reached out earlier about an actual A Cloud Guru, like more so as a hybrid like coding infrastructure challenge for AWS, which is really cool, and asked if anyone wanted to work with him on it. I highly encourage that. But yeah, we'll do our best to make sure people get feedback, but ask for it. Certainly post and ask for it, and I think we'll make sure we get you some feedback. So let's hey man, perfect, excellent, thank you, I appreciate that. I'm definitely gonna do that challenge too, and as soon as I'm gonna do it beforehand. And so October 15th is the deadline. We are for sure, we might have to hop on a Saturday morning stream or something, or maybe we'll have to add in a Friday stream we got to knock that out. We gotta or maybe we'll make it we gotta knock that out. I like that. We gotta go over that together. It'll be fun. That was a really cool challenge. Okay, so that's what we'll be doing. Ignore everything over here on the left. All I want you to do I want you to know the things on the right. I want you to have an understanding of how to approach learning new concepts and technologies when we're done with this. So, there's always a new framework, there's always a new language to learn, and I want to make sure that you know how to approach it. As usual, you probably have already gotten some of this, but just being at peace, being confused or lost, because we will all be there very often. A realization that no one knows it all. This is one of the toughest things to realize, is everyone seems so smart when you start learning all this stuff, but most of us aren't that smart, to be honest. We've just seen a bunch of things, but nobody knows it all. A strong belief that tech is for you and that you can thrive in it. I truly believe this. No matter how I know I talk to so many people who are like, I'm dumb and I can't get this stuff, I'm not good at math. Nah, none of that matters. None of that matters. I think everyone's brain is capable of picking out patterns, is capable of solving problems, and some people have to work harder than others to get there, but I think that we all can get there, and that we can thrive in it. And we're gonna learn how to do lots of memes, because you know, memes are life. To me, memes are life. Memes are the best way for me to express, you know, when language just doesn't fit, memes make it work. So I'm always wrong, and I'm constantly looking for ways to be less wrong. That is definite optimist. That is, man, that statement just hits me right in the feels. That is absolutely true. Always wrong, and constantly looking for ways to be less wrong. Again, all you're looking, that's, I like that. That is, that in itself is an affirmation of progress. Is, hey, as long as you're working on getting better, that's all that matters. But what's up, Euclidean? Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Welcome to the channel. Panda for the Panda, I went for that as well. Welcome to the channel. Good to have you. G Freeman, welcome to the channel as well. Let's see, to be honest, I know what I know. Yeah, that's very true, Jason. 100%. The perks of being a subscriber, the perks are simply that you don't see ads, so when you're watching this channel you no longer see any ads. Two, that you get access to sweet emotes like these. I guess that's cool. There are more of them, and I think that's it. I believe that's it, and that you support the channel. Again, not at all a requirement, but if you feel it in your heart, you know, always appreciate it. Channel point perks would be nice. Yeah, so I just learned about I've known these things were here. I didn't really know what they were. Although I've been twitching for over a year, I really I didn't learn all, there was so much stuff to learn about Twitch. And so yes, that is actually on my, if you guys could see my ridiculous list of to-dos, channel point perks are absolutely on there. There are a few other things as well. There's also going to be some more subscriber perks, but right now those are the only subscriber perks. We'll get there. Now that I have time to do it, I promise you we're going to get there pretty quickly, actually. So that's what I want you to learn. Oh, you're about to learn all about my Vim settings in a second. We're actually gonna be setting that up. Malice XO, first off, timing phenomenal right at the break. Thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs. I do appreciate the generosity. I also appreciate the support. Everyone who just received a gifted sub, please thank your gifter. Please show your gifter the same love that they've shown to the channel. I do really appreciate that. Channel perk that would change your Vim settings automatically. No, so I'm not Mr. Primogen, or Primogen, or however you pronounce it. My Vim skills are solid, but not excellent at all, and I'm not ready for that. You know, I'm not ready for that type of stress in my life. But you know, maybe I'll make it a really high perk, so you know, you got to have a lot of channel points to do it. Man, maybe we'll try it out. What's up, Pylang? How are you doing? Okay, what I hope to see from you all, you know, just get active. You'll learn more if you are more active. I promise you that you'll learn more if you're more active. Don't do it alone. Ask questions. You know, no questions, a stupid question. If you're uncomfortable asking a question in the chat, ask it in Discord. If you're uncomfortable asking it in a public Discord channel, you know, try to find someone who you're comfortable asking. Maybe you can ask me, and you know, and if you're uncomfortable with it, I can post a question for you, or ask someone to post a question for you. But ask questions, and then answer questions. Do your best to answer questions. If you know, even if you feel like, you know, I've just started learning and I don't really know if this is right, you know, try to answer. Like, I always tell people, hey, you can always preface it with, hey, you know, I just learned about this the other day, or maybe, you know, this may not be the complete answer, but what I do know about this is this. I would start to try to get comfortable with answering questions as well, or helping people find the answers that they're looking for. And affirmations of progress. If you're on social media, if you're doing a little bit of learning, you know, I just like to see what people are doing. It's a really nice way for me to see, you know, what people are working on, and it's exciting. So yeah. Vim is for sociopaths. I will die on this hill. So Incognito Bear, you know what's funny? I understand that. I'm not a sociopath, but I do understand that. I'm not just a Vim lover. I actively force myself to try to get good at Vim. So I've always used Vim because again, I'm an ops guy. traditionally an ops guy, so I was dealing with servers and stuff. So I learned how to do a lot of the basics in Vim. The core things, hop into a file, start to edit it, make changes that I needed, copy and paste, save and exit. I got all that stuff down, but I only recently started getting good because, again, I wanted to become a better typist. I'm a pretty poor typist. I never learned how to type properly. And then I got into custom keyboards. So I built this keyboard and I said, hey, I can't spend all this money on this custom keyboard that I'm going to build and be a bad typist. And so I'm learning how to type. And in learning how to type, I said, hey, it would help with that if I began to use Vim full time. And so the learning curve was super high, really uncomfortable at first, even though it was uncomfortable and I already knew how to use Vim. And and I've just been getting better and better with it. I have learned to love it. I have learned to prefer it as well. And I can, talk to you about why, but I do understand what you're saying. And I think I would feel differently if Visual Studio Code wasn't a thing. But because Visual Studio Code is a thing, sometimes it feels wrong for using Vim because Visual Studio Code, I do think it is that good. But yeah, there we go. VS Code is for mediocre coders like me. I disagree. I think VS Code is for everyone. To be honest, I think it's for everyone. Do a typing test. All right, if I must, we'll take a quick break because we don't have that much to go over. Let's see. Let's do Type Racer. So I didn't even know how to. So okay, before I do this, let me just say this. I'm not a super slow typer. I can type decently fast. I'm a terrible typist if I'm not looking at the keyboard. And so that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm a terrible typist if I'm not looking at the keyboard. And so I'll do a quick, I'll race real fast. We'll see what happens. Oh no. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we get. I'm gonna mess up because there's so much pressure. Oh, come on. For all it's see, you know what? Nope. You see how bad this is? All right, I'm gonna have to look because you guys are hurting my heart. You're making me go slower. So usually I'm around 38 words. Had vulnerabilities. Oh man, that the Spanish were. Oh no. The tiny. Okay, all right. Typo alert. I can't do it, but I'm better than that. Again, I'm usually around, when I do it on my own and I don't have the pressure of you all, I'm usually around 38 without looking. I'm around 38 to 40 words per minute. If I do look at my keyboard, if I allow myself to look at the keyboard, I can get around 65 words per minute. Again, also not great, but faster than the 38 words per minute. And so, I'm getting there. I was practicing for a little while. I had to practice to get to 38. I was like 28. I had to practice to get to 38. How do you practice? You play games like The Typing of the Dead, which is amazing. You should play it. And games like Z-Type. Amazing game as well. Where you shoot asteroids. It's very fun. It's got a lot of cool noises. But yeah, if you want to learn how to type, I'm going to start practicing again pretty soon because I want to be great. But yeah, that's, Type Racer is great, but too much pressure. I will start practicing more with you all so that I can get better. But yeah, that's why I use Vim. I use Vim because I was trying to become a better typist and I've learned to love it. Okay, so there were like 6 more slides. I will add them from my laptop, or I'll just make them. But let's just talk really quick about the languages that we're going to be using, the runtimes that we're going to be using. So 2 dynamic interpreted languages, JavaScript and Python. Why are we using 2 languages? Why are we using 4 languages? We're using 4 languages because the goal here is not to learn how to a specific language. Is to learn these concepts on how to solve problems and how to implement code to solve problems. And doing it with different languages, I think, cements those concepts better. It's good to get your hands on different languages as well. But 2 dynamic interpreted languages, JavaScript, Python is probably I think it's one of the most popular languages, if not the most popular. And JavaScript is a language that you need if you want to work with the web at all. So two really good languages to learn. You can make a lot of money doing both. You know, JavaScript has the lowest barrier of entry to a job. I think web development as a programmer or coder has the lowest barrier entry, so I think it's good to learn JavaScript. Lots of jobs, tons of jobs for web development. Python as well, and Python's, you know, they're both pretty easy to learn in comparison to some other things. And then static compiled languages, two static compiled languages. Go, amazing, really cool language, created out of Google by some people like Google. Yeah, really good language. It's designed to be, you know, it's a systems language for the most part, designed to be, you know, fast and fun for people to write, but also fast and efficient for computers. And then Rust is a lower level language than Go. Kind of, you know, more C-like a little bit, but I'm not, so I know Go pretty well, really well. I know Python pretty well, and I know JavaScript pretty well. I barely know Rust, and that's part of the reason why we're throwing this in here, is that one, I want you to see how we take some of the implementations of things that we're going to try to do in Rust to show you how you approach it. I know a lot of the fundamental concepts to programming. I've only ever done like a hello world in Rust, and so you know, we're gonna use that because its popularity is soaring right now. People are using it for a lot of things. So Rust is a little bit of like a C alternative. So it's used for a lot of things, lots of tools, lots of services. Yeah, it's used for tons of things. I mean, you know, it's not something that's going to be used for like, you know, making your simple web app, but it's going to be used to make the services that power those things. Yeah, it does really cool stuff. Yeah, Rust. So Discord, when you're using Discord's a lot of services are powered by Rust. They were powered by Go originally. The reason that they switched, they shouldn't have, well, I'm not gonna say they shouldn't have switched, but it was very interesting when you actually read the paper. Like the headlines all said, hey, you know, Discord switches to Rust, and like, you know, they had a little paper about what they did, and they, you know, they could have like, the problems that they were having were due to their version of Go. And they could have, you know, there were newer versions of Go, but that would have been an equally as large lift. So, you know, I get it. And there were some benefits to them moving to Rust. But yeah, no, Rust is cool. I want to explore a little bit more. I think that, you know, when it comes to compiled languages, static and compiled languages, statically typed compiled languages, these are kind of the go-tos now. I think it's going to be good to dive into these. So yeah, Rust is important because of security features the others don't. Yes, that is, you know, I'm not a Rust expert at all, but I do hear a lot about security as well. I think it has a lot of constraints and security features that you know, make it really nice for people to use. It's got some of the safety nets that like C doesn't have. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be using. Now, I had one in here also just about the tools that we need to, you know, install and get ready for. We are going to be minimalist here. You can use whatever, if you already know a little bit about programming and you know you're good to go, use whatever you're comfortable with. But all you really need here is a terminal and a text editor. That's all you really need here. So I'd just like to get this, you know, out of the way right now. I'm using Windows. You might say, "Oh my gosh, why is he using Windows?" I usually, if you're OG to this channel, I usually use this laptop right here. Actually, I usually use this. I do have a capture card on here. This is a System 76 laptop. It is a full Linux computer. It runs Pop OS. System 76. They make Linux laptops. It's really cool company. I used to use this. I still do. I use this laptop a lot, actually. And so, you know, I'm a huge Linux user. But when WSL2 came out, I wanted to try it out, and WSL2 has been excellent to me. And so it just kind of makes it easier right now for my setup, that I don't have to like, you know, fumble around with my laptop on my desk or like use my, you know, KVM switch to do weird stuff. And it just makes it a little bit easier for me right now. but we'll probably, I can almost guarantee though, we're going to go back to a full Linux desktop. But I like to give everyone on all the operating systems a way to the tools that I would say work. Let me see if my Cloud9 will work for any of these. Yes, your Cloud9 will work for everything. Cloud9 would be perfect if you're using Cloud9. So if you are on, you need two tools. You need a terminal and you need a text editor. So if you're on Windows, I use, if you hop into the Windows Store, you can download, you probably don't know that this exists. You can absolutely use Command Prompt or PowerShell if you want. The problem is, then you'll have to know how to do the equivalent commands to me from the command line, which you know, I don't think it's super hard to know, but if you don't know those things, then I suggest you install WSL if you're on Windows, and install, even if you are using PowerShell or something, I highly recommend that you install the Windows terminal. It's phenomenal. It's really, really good. It's really good. So like I have it here. It's phenomenal. It has a lot of configuration and stuff that you can do. So that's what you can use for your terminal, or you can use Hyper. So if you do exclamation point terminal, I think Hyper is what I used to use. Hyper is what I use on Linux. Hyper is available for Linux, Mac, and PC. One caveat about Hyper is it might be a little slow for some people, depending on your system, but because it's an Electron app, and you know, Electrons come a long way. But it's cool because it allows for lots of customization. I think I do have it installed here. That is not that. So that's pretty cool. So, you know, I think that's a cool terminal to download. If you're on a Mac, you have one already. Just like if you're on Linux, you have one already. It's already built in. But I think there are better options out there. So if you're on a Mac, I recommend that you download either, I recommend that you download Hyper or iTerm 2. And again, you probably won't use these features right now, but they have really good features that make these better terminals than the stock one. If you want. So that's what I recommend for Macs, Hyper and iTerm. For Windows, I recommend Hyper or Windows Terminal. And for Linux, I recommend Hyper or I'm a fan of Terminator because it has good screen splitting functionality. So if if you're looking for a terminal, Hyper or Terminator is what I say for Linux. But use what you know. If you already have one that you love, use it. For anyone else who's looking for something new, who's using stock stuff, you can use one of these. I'm about to go through and show you how to set up some stuff as well, so you can learn. But yes, it does not matter. It does not matter what version of Linux you use. None of that's going to matter. It will matter a little bit when we're learning how to install some stuff, but you should just be able to install, like, how do I install Rust on this thing? So you should be good. All right. My previous shop rebuilt the platform in Scala to prep for Scala. That's fair. I've heard interesting things about Scala as well. Definitely heard some interesting things. Okay, so grab one of those. Like I said, I'm going to be using Windows Terminal for now. And I'll show you guys how to get my setup if you want to get my setup. But let's actually get out of here. And you know what I'm going to do? I don't think I have anything set up. So this is cat etsy issue. All right, I did upgrade this to 20.04, but I think that this 20.04 I think is completely stock. Yeah, it's still on Bash. I don't think I have a lot of stuff installed here. Yep, Go's not installed. Node's not installed. Nothing's installed here. So this is good. I'll start fresh to get the stuff installed over here. AWS Lambda execution environment is built on Rust. Yeah. It's C-level performance, so it makes sense. Nicer things to write. And again, yeah, everyone's been hearing great things about Rust. I have too. That's one of the biggest reasons why we're gonna start to dive into it. I think it's gonna be a good opportunity, one, for us to, very lightly get our hands on it to kind of build a couple things with it, but also to give us some ideas about what we may be able to dive into it with in the future for sure. Oh yeah, I'll show you this vimrc or init vim in a second. We'll hop into that. So again, terminal, grab yourself a terminal. And then after terminal, you need a text editor. I make 2 text editor recommendations. Well, I make 3 text editor recommendations depending on your use case. My number 1 recommendation is VS Code. I think you can type in VS Code. I think it'll come up. Maybe it won't. Maybe I think it's going to come up every time. But I think it's code.visualstudio.com. Yes. I went through a phase where I was, messing with all of the editors, trying to figure out which one I really liked. Microsoft did a phenomenal job for this. And so if you're looking for a text editor, I highly recommend VS Code. I do have VS Code downloaded here. It is phenomenal. It's excellent. What's up, Anti7? What's up, Mania Mutt? What's up, Kochivato, Beverly, to Jay Austin? Welcome to the channel. Sandstrom, welcome. Jedug, welcome to the channel as well. Oh, cool. This is nothing bad. It's good. I'm glad. But VS Code, really nice. I have a little bit of theme on here. So great. Really good thing. It has everything kind of built in. It's kind of all you need. And it's got a really good marketplace for extensions and stuff. And that is why I like it. It's a really good editor. It's fast, it's stable. It does everything that you need it to do. And then the other thing I recommend is Vim. I do recommend Vim. Why in the world do I recommend Vim? Someone already called me a sociopath, or any Vim user a sociopath. The reason is because I come from a world of servers, and there's going to be times when you only have access to a terminal and you've got to make some modifications. So I think that everyone needs to at least know some basic Vim functionality. What is Vim? Everyone, might be wondering what the heck is Vim? Vim is a text editor that lives in the terminal. It's a terminal based text editor. So let's say I go into Gatsby starter, Nullify CMS, Vim. It is a text. Now, yours won't look like this by default. I'll show you what yours will look like by default. But, it allows you to do cool things. It is a modal text editor. It has a very high learning curve. What do we say when we say modal? It has modes. You go into different modes. So right now I'm in normal mode. So right now I can't actually do any typing. So right now I'm hitting the K key and the J key that goes up and down. And so you use keyboard shortcuts and keyboard bindings to do everything. So you don't use your mouse. And that's, again, also why it's annoying, and that's why I'm using it to learn how to type better. But if I hit I'm in a new mode. I'm now in insert mode, or I can go into R for replace mode. And there's a bunch of different modes that you can get into. I can get in a visual mode to do different things. Like I said, very, very high learning curve, but this is the text editor that's available on a lot of systems, Linux systems by default. And so learning how to use it is pretty helpful. And this is what I use. This is what I will use 90% of the time. I do still use VS Code for some things because my Vim skills for certain things aren't quite up to par yet, but they're getting there. They're definitely getting there. So if it's time sensitive, I will hop into VS Code for a little bit, but I try to spend most of my time inside of Vim. Tmux is dope. Yeah, I wouldn't learn them both. It can definitely be a challenge. There's a lot of good resources for learning Vim, which I will post I'm going to post a lot of things in the resources section specifically about Vim and setting up Vim and VS Code. And again, the Prime, he has a Vim series that's phenomenal that I think people should check out. So this is my terminal over here is a little bit it's heavily customized. I am using for anyone who has heard all of my gripes about my shell, about ZSH, I am using it now. I'm using it. I'm still, it's customized to the way that I like it now, I guess. I have a lot of gripes with ZSH out of the box, but it's okay. It's customizable. You can fix it. So I'm going to do everything over here in a kind of more standard space. And we'll get everything set up right now. Custom keycaps. I don't have any custom keycaps. These keycaps though are, they have a little bit of like, you can't see it. It's like a little like wolf and like a little polar bear. These are the JTK Arctic keycap sets, and it's a little like snowflake, but like Nah, I don't have any custom keycaps because I'm too lazy to go in on the group buys and wait that long, because you know, I want that instant I want it right now. I want that instant gratification. My keyboard switch is there's Zelios V2s, and they are the 67 gram versions of them. I appreciate that. I'm probably gonna pick up the Holy Pandas that Glorious PC Gaming Race is doing. They're doing a run, and I might pick up these because I really like the original Glorious Pandas, not Glorious Pandas, the Holy Pandas. So these are supposed to be just like them, so we'll see. All right, so once you get a terminal installed, once you get a text editor installed, you're kind of good to go. So let's get set up a little bit. So let's say we were hopping into VS Code. Actually, let's install our runtimes first. Let's get our runtimes installed, and then we will move along. So the first thing that we are going to install is Node.js. Each of these is going to be installed differently on each system. I'm going to talk you through it a little bit, and hopefully help you get it installed. Again, the reason why we're spending a little time with this is what I've learned is there are people who know, I know people who know how to use, they are web developers. They know how to use JavaScript really well. They know Node, React, you know, all the stuff really, really well. But if there's an issue with their installation or something, they have zero idea what to do because they never picked up the command line skills and understanding how these things are actually set up on their system and stuff. So we're taking a day to try to get these things installed and giving you 2 days to get everything set up. Now, for a lot of people, this is probably not going to be an issue, but for a lot of people, it also is going to be an issue. So we'll run through it really quick. You can see me install it, which may help you. Everyone's system is different. So if you're doing this on Windows, I want to be very clear. Whenever we see any of these things that's on Windows, this is specifically talking about if you are using raw Windows. If you are using WSL, if you're using the Windows subsystem for Linux, this is not for you. The Windows installation is not for you. But what's Windows is not ideal for a lot of development purposes, just because of the structure. It differs from the systems that, you know, the code is usually going to be running on. But what's nice about it is usually Windows has like a nice little installer. So if you are installing this in Windows, simply click on this button. It'll give you a .exe. You click through, you install it like any other package. Great, very exciting, nice and easy. For everybody else, for Mac, there's an installer as well, so that should be pretty easy as well. So just find the one that works for you, just kind of click on the one and it'll download for you, and you can just click the buttons. Makes it super easy. For anyone who's using Linux, you can build it from source if you want, but it's very likely exists in your package manager already. So if you are on Debian, or even if you're on a Red Hat based distro, give yourself a little update really quick. I'm gonna update real fast, shouldn't take too long. And then we're simply gonna use our package manager to install it. And I'm gonna do sudo apt install. And the package name on Debian based machines. So if you're using Ubuntu, if you're using Pop! OS, if you're using Debian itself, if you're using Linux Mint, it'll be this: sudo apt install Node.js. This is going to be the command to get it installed. Again, Windows and Mac, just click the button. If you're using Linux or WSL, Windows Subsystem for Linux, this is going to be the command to get it if you are based in Ubuntu. If you are not, I think it is sudo yum or DNF. I guess it's DNF now. Install, and I think the package name is just Node, but it might be Node.js. I'm not really sure. I could install and see, but if you're unsure, what do? You go to Google and you say install Node.js on, you know, Red Hat or Amazon Linux or whatever it is, and simply find a tutorial. You got 2 days to figure it out. Some of them look complicated, but just go through and find it out for you. So I will click that button really fast. So for Node though, we are also going to get 2 more packages. Actually, we're only going to get one. We only need one for this. Yeah, I really do. I really am enjoying. I'm a long time Linux user, like really long time Linux user, and I'm really enjoying WSL. I really am, like a lot. Any preference on WSL over Windows 10 for what we're doing? If you have WSL installed, I'd probably go for it, just because if you're going to be trying to copy exactly what I'm doing, then it might make it a little bit easier, but I don't really have a preference if you understand how to use the Windows command line pretty well. That's all. Any recommendations for learning research to learn Linux? So there's the Linux Bible, which is a good book that they just released a new version of, and I actually have a Linux. We did a Linux excursion. So there's a 6-part series, I think. Let's see. Show more. It's called Waddle, Foundations in Linux. A nice little 6-part series. If you want to watch it, it helps as well. I help you get the basics of Linux down, foundational concepts as well. The Linux Bible is great. I don't know. Linux is one of those things that like I learned on the job, so I didn't really use a lot of resources for that. All right, we're gonna do one more thing though. We might not need it. Nah, we're gonna need it. We're gonna need it. So for if you install this in Windows or you install this in Mac, you're probably fine already, because this includes a tool called npm. Npm is Node Package Manager, and this is probably something we should have spent a little more time in the original Decoded session about. So package management, this is a big gripe of a lot of people and different software languages, but every tool has something. Every language has a tool or some way to manage libraries and packages, external bits of code basically that you can use in your code to make it easy for you to be able to utilize them. Node.js has one called npm. Okay, and so we're gonna just install that the same way. Sudo apt install npm. If you install this on Mac or something, if you just type in npm, you should get some output that kind of shows that it's installed. And so you can do that, but it takes a little bit to install. But just doing a sudo apt install npm or a yum install npm should be pretty easy to do. One of the biggest reasons people dislike JavaScript is because of npm and the way the packages are managed in JavaScript. Basically anything you build, anything you use basically is a dependency hell, unfortunately. But gift and a curse. You can build things very quickly, but they're also kind of they're pretty vulnerable. Security vulnerabilities and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, go ahead and do it npm-v and see what you got there. Oh, did you type it in the wrong place? That's kind of funny. Yes, it was what package management. Yeah, you see, So we're gonna get this installed. You don't need to know about npm right now. If you want to look it up, feel free to look it up. The website for this is npmjs.org, I believe. .com. And I actually think Microsoft bought npm now, which is kind of cool. Microsoft is doing a lot of, I'm not someone, I like what Microsoft has done over the past few years. That's why I'm back on Windows, to be honest. Giving them a chance. They are, I'm a huge fan of open source software, but because I'm a huge fan of open source software, I had this long conversation with somebody about this, is I also must support the companies who are putting significant dollars into open source software. They're not all good. All the companies aren't good. I'm not saying that Microsoft is great, but open source, yes, it's community driven and stuff, but nah, man, everything needs some funding, man. Everything needs some funding. And so I will support the organizations that do support open source as well. Buying Bethesda, yeah, they bought Bethesda. Incognito Bear, I used to work, they bought ZeniMax Media. They bought the parent company of Bethesda. And so I used to work at ZeniMax Online Studios for the release of Elder Scrolls Online. I helped manage the infrastructure for that, which was really cool. So it's really interesting seeing all these things happening right now. It's pretty cool. Supporting Linux is a huge change. It's Microsoft is literally shipping a Linux kernel inside of Windows, and it's nuts to me. It's just, Microsoft has come a long way. I'm glad that they've seen the light a little bit, because honestly, Windows was really becoming if you weren't doing .NET development, it was kind of becoming a terrible place to do any software development, to be honest. And as someone who does technical things, I'm glad that, you know, they made a shift to make things a little bit easier. Right, nobody would have thought that was going to be a thing. So yeah, so you can check out npm if you'd like to check out npm. Not super important. I just want you to get JavaScript installed. How do you know that JavaScript is installed successfully? Simply type in node from the command line. What happens when you type in node? You get dropped into a little prompt. You won't get any output. You'll get dropped right into this little prompt right here, and that lets you know that node is working. The way that you can confirm is you can do a console.log, open parentheses, type some stuff inside of some quotes, and hit enter, and make sure it comes back out. This is the node. This is the JavaScript interpreter. So remember back to the slides. We said we had 2 dynamically typed interpreted languages. We'll do a little you know, a gloss over of what typing is, like statically typed versus dynamically typed, but it's interpreted. So you can, when things are interpreted, you can generally drop into an interpreter and it will interpret your JavaScript code. And so, yeah, you know, if you want to get out, just hit Control D, and it will drop you out of there. Makes you wonder what ulterior motives they have. I'm ripped in open source not too long ago. Now look, yeah, I mean, for sure. Like, I do think, you know, it's all, they're definitely making business moves. Like this move to open source, it's a business move, but I think there's a lot. I personally think there's a lot of good in it right now, but I'm sure there are some shady undertones to the things that they're doing. But I kind of feel that way about every company right now. So, you know, you're right. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm not going to speculate too much, but no, I'm with you. Definitely makes you wonder. I absolutely do wonder. Cool. So you have Node installed, you have JavaScript installed. Great. We're all good to go there. Python is going to be a similar thing. Now, let me say this, all you Mac people, I am probably going to post you, if you don't already have Python installed, I'm probably going to post you a video from YouTube. Why am I going to post you a video from YouTube? Because Mac OS uses, it has a system version of Python that it needs to do certain things, and it can really be problematic. It can get super weird with the way that you install Python, but we will we'll run through this really quick. This is WSL2. Yeah, this is WSL2. Well, I mean, this is WSL2. I don't know if this distribution that I'm using is set up to use WSL2. Pretty sure WSL2 is the default. So yeah. All right, so Python, you can confirm we're not gonna work with hold on, I've never seen this Python playground. What is this? I mean, I'm not gonna have it because I don't. Whoa, it copied the wrong thing. Oh yeah, well, I don't have virtual over here, but I think I have virtual over here. Okay, I don't. All right, no problem. Interesting. So we're gonna get a real simple Python installation installed. We want to install Python 3 because Python 2 is not really a thing anymore, not supported anymore. All you're gonna have to do in most Linux distributions is do a sudo whatever package manager you're using, install Python 3. Oh, I guess I do already have it. And so you can type in Python. You might already have it. Try, if Python doesn't work, try Python 3. And you probably do have it. We're not gonna mess with any virtual environments right now for Python. We're just not doing any major Python specific projects. And virtual environments can be very tricky, very tricky for people. But I didn't know there was that little playground command. I've never seen that before. I wonder what that is. Now I want to try it. Okay, interesting. What's up, silly boy? How you doing? So, oh yeah, okay, gotcha. You're just naming your virtual env. Makes sense. I didn't even really look at the command. Yeah, so if you go to the Python website, again, for Windows, I think they'll give you a little installer. They'll give you a little installer. For Mac OS, I think they'll also give you a little installer. You just download the little installer and go through it. Pretty nice. So maybe you should go that way. But I do think there's some oddities again with the way that you install this on a Mac. I'm assuming this installer takes care of it. But for everything else, for Linux, again, just use your package manager. Either use yum or DNF or apt and install Python 3. Python might install, like if you just do Python, it might still no, so it's downloading Python 2. Yeah, I was wondering to see if it was symlink to 3 now, but it is not. 3.9 is out. What Python do we have? Whoa. Is this gonna give me the same thing if I do a dash version? Is that the same thing? No, it's not. Okay. I wonder if I do a sudo apt upgrade. I wonder if is it gonna update Python 3 app, or it's no, I don't think it's gonna. I'll just upgrade anyway. Yes, so you don't have to, so yes, every command with Python, you gotta put the 3. You can create a symlink. We will create symlinks, yeah, or you can create an alias. I generally symlink because if you do an alias, it's only gonna work for your session and your kind of like user. If you symlink it, then if you are calling any Python executables through something else, then it will also work. So yeah. So we'll dive into a little bit of that as well. So this will be a little, you'll learn a little bit more than just the programming portions. You'll learn a little bit of Linux magic as well. But so yeah, we want that installed. Python and JavaScript are the two easy ones to install. Go is a little bit more difficult. There's a little bit more of a setup. So you go to golang.org and you can just download it. So it looks like there's a binary distributions. I usually build from source, but I guess I could just download the binary. But if you download the binary, you still have to do some setup. Either way, you got to do some setup. So the way that Go works, Go has a specific file structure that it's looking for. It'll still work without it for most of the things that we're doing. It's going to work without it. And so I'm going to get this set up in a second, but we're going to run through this really fast. If you are having problems with your Go setup, there also is there's repl.it, repl.it. Oh, maybe that's not it. What was it? Oh, I put relp.it. I'm glad that was not a terrible site. But this can give you a little coding space to do some quick little things in. And it does have Go and Rust and everything. If you want to use this, the reason I don't recommend this off bat is because I while learning how to code is important, I think that is more important for the foundational courses. I think that you need to get comfortable with the command line and learning how to learning how these executables and things work, and learning how to manage them, and learning how to debug and all that other stuff without utilizing these already pre-made setup environments. I highly encourage you to try your best to get all set up. So Windows will give you an installer. Apple looks like it'll give you an installer. You can either build it from source, or I can grab the Linux thing here. You can install this from a package manager, which I think is okay right now. I think it's okay if you do that right now, if you're only going to write any Go while we're doing what we're doing here. But if you plan on writing any Go after this, usually the package managed version of Go is old. Like, so right now it's 1.15 is the new one. If I did like a sudo apt install either Go or Golang, what is it going to give me? It's going to give me 1.13, and so it'll work. It'll work fine. You can do that. We're going to be using Go we're going to be learning Golang in particular. We're going to be doing some things with Golang, some things with Python, JavaScript, and a little bit with Rust as well. So apt, this is Linux. Apt is the package manager for Ubuntu based distributions. And apt, yeah, so it's a package manager. Imagine the Apple Store or the Windows Store for installing applications. This is the Linux store for grabbing applications. That's all it is. And so now I have Go. And so if I type in Go, I get output claiming that it's installed. We're not going to be doing anything that's Go 114 or 115 specific, so not a big deal. You can use your package manager. I think as long as you have Go 1.11 and up, I think we'll be fine. But yeah. Yes. So you know what's funny? I think that, so I thought app stood for aptitude as well, and I've been saying that, and I feel like on my Linux stream somebody corrected me, and I actually don't think it stands for aptitude. I actually think it stands for advanced package tool, I think. And I think aptitude, and I think this is why I think aptitude was a separate advanced tool that like did stuff as well, but I thought exactly what you said, V3, is what I was telling people, and someone corrected me. Aptitude is its own cursors based package manager. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean I thought it was aptitude for a long time. So, you know, we're all about learning here. I learn from you all every day. That's why I always tell people, I said it last night, I'm glad I didn't forget to say it tonight now, is that, oh, this is a conversation. Do not take what I say as gospel. If I say something that is off or wrong, don't be a booty hole about it. Be nice about it, but say, hey, I don't think that's right. I think it's this. And if I believe strongly, then we can have a spirited debate, or we can just look it up on Google. But yeah, if we're talking about things like, I'd be wrong. I'm wrong. So tell me when I'm wrong. No booty holes here. Exactly. Booty is, I'll say booty more times than I should. I'm really, I'm trying to make this, I'm trying not to cuss on this channel at all. I don't want to be a potty mouth. So booty is going to be the worst word that we say. Hopefully that is the least offensive. I mean, that should be the least offensive word that I say. Hopefully that doesn't bother you. But if it does, I do apologize, but I can't promise you I'm not going to keep saying it, because it is my don't say curse word. Okay. This is what it is, Pac-Man, I do like Arch. So if you are using that, that's great. Yes, if you're using homebrew on Mac, brew install whatever you want to install. There's some setup that needs to happen for Go to work properly. We're not going to go over that right now because we don't need to. We can still run our own Go code without we're not going to be pulling in any packages with Go, because we're not going to be using Go for the API portion. I know that might hurt some people's feelings, but we're not going to be using it for that. So we're probably not going to pull in any outside packages, so we don't need to really worry about that. So Go's installed. Now Rust, I know when I say I know very little about Rust, I know I've done almost nothing with Rust. So I'm assuming Rust has a similar installation procedure to everything else. Looks like if you're on Windows, you can download an executable. Oh, look at this, if you are on Windows substitute for Linux, I can just do this thing right here. This is great. I love Rust already. Rust is my friend already. Looks like I can just, oh, phenomenal. Gives me a little command line walkthrough. This can be modified with the cargo home environment variable. I don't know what that is. The cargo rust C, rust up, and other commands will be added to cargo's binary directory. This is phenomenal. I don't know what it's saying. I just want to proceed with the installation. So I'm going to hit number 1. And I guess it's installing Rust. This is phenomenal. This is the best language. We might just have to be a Rust channel, just rusting it up. This is phenomenal. I'm gonna install it over here as well, because this is the workspace I'm usually working out of over here. But we'll come back over here. Okay, so how do I run? Well, I don't have any. Rust is not interpreted, so I can't just drop into a Rust interpreter, I don't think. But how do I write some Rust code? Here, let's do this. I think we did this before. I think I did a hello world, but I don't know how to write Rust hello world. Cool. Here we go. Just need a main function. Do I need a comment on the main function? I might need it. so it doesn't error. And let's vim it up. Vim test dot, I'm pretty sure Rust is .rs. Undo. That's better. All right, we got a little hello world thing here in Rust. Do I type in Rust? How do I run this? How do I run Rust? Yes, I'm a Vim user. How do I Rust C is the command to run? Rust C. No. Oh, maybe I have to I wonder if it's not a part of my doesn't like that. Hold on, let me maybe I just needed another one. Oh yeah, I just needed to basically load it into my session. So Rust C test.rs. Oh, it didn't hold on. It didn't print out. Print line, hello world, that looks right to me. It didn't print it out to the console. I don't know anything about Rust. Oh, I could just /test it. That makes sense. Oh, it actually compiled it for me. Okay, so sorry. That makes perfect sense. The reason, so Go has messed up my workflow. Go has messed up my workflow because Go, although it's a compiled language, it has a run function which gives you the indication. It does all of it for you, and it just runs it. That makes perfect sense. And so there we go. Like Go, you don't have to build and then run it. You can go run it. It'll compile it for you and also run it for you. So I got a little confused there because I haven't used a raw language like this in a long time. That's great. I did our first stuff with Rust as someone who doesn't know. Whoa, that's not what I meant to do. Nice. And I already have a little bit of, I don't think I have a Rust, any kind of Rust plugins, so this is nice. It gives me a little stuff out of the box. How big is that Rust program? Great question. That Rust program is 2.8 megs. Could be worse. 2.8 megs. Let's see something really quick. Let's do a hello world and Go really quick. Test go. My brain just died. Oh, package. Actually, I'm gonna do it over here. Well, let's package main import func main print line. I want to see the size difference really quick. That's all we're doing here. So this is a Go application. Go run test -go. So this will whoops, expected. What did I do wrong here? For one, and then do I need something else? All right, so let me build it. That is 2 megs, so a little bit smaller. Almost a meg smaller. That's actually pretty interesting. Actually, I don't know why it's pretty interesting. This is why we're learning some different languages, so we can kind of see some of the differences. If you don't know what we just did, don't sweat it at all. All we did is we have a hello world application in both Go. Whoops. In Go, so this is what it looks like in Go, and we also have it in Rust. and it looks like this in Rust. These are compiled languages. So what does a compiled language mean? That means that once we write the code, we then have to build this code. We have to do some processing of this code to basically convert that human readable code, that source code. That's what's called. That human readable code that you're writing is called source code. We need to convert that into something that the computer can execute, to machine readable code. And so compilation is exactly that. And so it happens beforehand. It converts it into something, into an executable that the machine can read. And the one with Rust gave us a executable of 2.8 megs. And you might say, wow, that's pretty big for the amount of text. The file itself is only 178 bytes, which is a lot smaller than 2.8 megs, but this has all the things that it needs to run. And then so Go's is just smaller. So it's smaller. There are probably a number of reasons for that. We're not gonna dive into that right now, but yeah, just looking at the size difference, just was curious about that. Are you gonna be going over Java at all? We are not gonna be going over Java at all. Not because we hate Java, but because just the way the industry is moving. These are also, I think these are just easier compiled languages to learn. Java is kind of verbose. You know, and a little, you know, I think for when we're trying to learn these concepts, not quite as good. I love Go. You know, as far as statically typed compiled languages go, I had a lot of trouble with them until Go was introduced to me. I think that Go's speed and the tools that it has are great. I also like Go's general idea of, hey, you know, we're not going to give you a bunch of fancy packages. Like, we're going to give you the essential tools and you kind of got to build what you need. Now that's changing a bit, but as we all knew it would, but at the core of it, I think it's pretty nice. I think the syntax is good. I like Go a lot. I've heard good things about Kotlin. Would you agree that big Java projects end in disaster? I think big projects, period, like every project ends in a disaster, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, I just think once you're just that ingrained into Java, so I'll say this. Managing the JVM is a hassle. It absolutely is a hassle. As someone who's managed many JVMs, like it's a hassle. I don't know. It's not super friendly for modern for modern technologies. It's not super friendly. Yeah, it's just not super friendly for modern technologies. You can get moving with a lot of stuff faster. Good language, super useful. Like Java is very useful. It's not. I don't think it's outdated in its functionality. I think it's outdated in I just think there are easier options that have more actually more functionality. So that's all. Why compiled versus interpreted? A couple different reasons. One, performance. Compiled languages, because you're doing all of the processing beforehand, they run a lot faster. They're much more efficient for the computer to run. So when performance is of the essence, compiled language, compiled over interpreted. In comparison, you know, JavaScript and Python are incredibly slow in comparison to something like Rust or Go for a lot of things. Two, for that static typing, for being able to find errors at different times, you know, at compile time rather than when the code is out there. So if you are dealing with something where the existence of the data matters, like the property that the state that the data is in matters, I think static languages are much better for things like that as well. And then besides that, it's just use case. I think you use the best tool for the job. After that, you can kind of get up and running faster with a dynamic language, dynamic interpreted language. You get up and running a little bit quicker. Generally there's less scaffolding code as well, but yeah. Yep, so because it's compiled at runtime, that's how all the interpreted languages, they are being compiled, but they're compiled as they run. It's interpreting it basically line by line, and so it's doing that. It's slower because it's doing that compilation. Instead of doing it beforehand, it's doing it as it's running through the file. And so yeah, but yeah, error detection, big one. But yeah, Is Java bytecode compile code? That is a phenomenal question. That is it's a good question. It really is a good question. So there are some languages like Java that run into an intermediary step. Yeah, so they take the source code, the code that you write, and then they compile it down to bytecode. So what is bytecode? Bytecode is an intermediary step. It's an intermediary format, code format, or data format that's more digestible to generally another type of processing unit. In this case, it's the JVM. The JVM stands for the Java Virtual Machine. And so when you write your Java code, it then gets compiled down into a format that's readable by the JVM, and the JVM, then that bytecode gets then interpreted into the machine readable code. It's pretty interesting. It's a pretty interesting concept. It's not the only language that does that. I think I want to say C# does it as well. But yeah. Yep. All right. We did not see hello world in the world's best language. What's the world's best language? Is it JavaScript? I don't know. But yeah, so we got that set up. So the last thing I want to show you guys is my Vim setup and how you might want to work with Vim. Cause I know a number of people who are like, hey, I've been learning Vim and I want to have the things that you have in Vim. So I'll show you how to get the Vim that I have. So my Vim looks like this. You already saw that when you get dropped into it. Mine looks kind of like, mine looks a little more like a traditional editor. And you know, I have everything over on the right that I want. I have some colors and things like that. I have a number of integrations in here, which is great, which is really nice and super helpful. But you may not know how to get to this end state. If you can see here over on this side, if I go into something like let's go into here, and if I type in Vim here, you can see it looks very different. And if I start to click things, things are very different. I don't have a lot of colors. Like, I don't have that panel off to the side. This is a standard Vim installation right here. This is raw Vim. This is how it probably looks to you. But what you can do is Vim has an RC file. Linux, everything in Linux is a file, basically. Everything's a file or binary. So it's either, you know, something that can be executed or it's a file. So when you want to make changes to things in Linux, you make changes to a file, basically. And so there's something called a Vim RC file. And so all you got to do is, if you do !Vim settings, the world's best language is Prolog. Yeah, sure. Yeah, maybe it's not Vim settings. Maybe it's terminals. No, it should be Vim settings. Use your Vim RC along with the primes to make an RC beast. I might have to check his out to see what he's using. I feel like his stuff's super advanced. Okay, it's not Vim settings. Is it just, it's not terminal settings, is it? No, it's not terminal settings. But I guess if you click on that link, so there's a config files repository, which is this. So you can get all of my config files if you want. I don't think my ZSH RC is updated. This init.vim is the same as the Vim RC. And you know, don't ignore this, but like, it's not what it sounds like. Yeah, it's not what it sounds like. This is a tool in Vim. And so Vim RC is for anyone using Vim, and the init.vim is for anyone using what's the NeoVim is for anyone using NeoVim. It doesn't really matter which one you use. Vim is probably installed by default. That's fine. So all you're gonna do is you're just gonna copy and paste. You're gonna either download this or you're gonna copy and paste this file here. There's a bunch of stuff in here. What is all this stuff? All this stuff basically is just settings. It's all just settings for Vim. And some of them are standard settings, but the place where a lot of the cool stuff comes in is from here down. So these are all plugins. Vim has the same way VS Code has this little marketplace for plugins, and you can just type it in and install a plugin over here. Vim allows you to install plugins as well, like this. And I use something called Vim Plug. So I'm gonna set up my new terminal workspace, my 20.04 like this. So I'm gonna get set up the same way. The way that we get set up is to one, make sure I have Vim installed. Vim is installed, it's there, great. Vim's there. Now I need to grab that vimrc and I need to put it in the proper location. So you can, like I said, you can either clone that repo or you can do exactly this. You can copy all of this. I'm gonna look at the raw file. I'm gonna copy it. This file needs to go in the root of your directory, in your home directory. It's going to go in your home directory. Your home directory is located at tilde. Everyone's home directory is located at tilde. So what I want you to do is you can type in Vim, or if you want to do this in VS Code or something, instead you can type in code, but you're going to do Vim tilde /vimrc. And so this is going to create a file called .vimrc in your home directory. We're going to do this. Then we're going to type in :set space paste, hit enter, and then paste it in. Control V or Control Shift V maybe for you, or Command V. Basically, we're just getting all that information into a file here. And so you get it there. Now, I have this line here. I have these lines right here. What this is supposed to do is, if you do not have Vim plug already installed, it will install it for you. But I found this has not been working. Really weird. Yeah, I mean, Nano's fine. Nano is okay. The only reason I don't recommend Nano is because not all servers have Nano installed on them by default. All of them basically have VI or Vim installed. So yeah. So once you get that there, you hit escape, :WQ. This will save the file and exit. So :WQ, or you can hit escape, hold shift, and hit Z twice if you want, or you can do :X. All of those will save and quit for you. I don't know the difference between all of them, to be 100% honest with you. So now I think what is supposed to happen is it's giving me some errors. Why is it giving me some errors? Every time I try to open it back up, it gives me some errors. It gives me some errors because it's in my configuration. I'm saying, hey, I want you to install all of these plugins, but I don't have the tool that's to use to install these plugins. So all you got to do is Google Vim plug, and I'll give you the link here. And so we're going to use this tool. This is an old one. There are other Vim plugin tools, which you can feel free to use. All you got to do is copy this command right here. Simple command. Just copy and paste it. Just scroll down a little bit, copy and paste it. And I'll paste this in the chat as well. Paste that in here. This will get it all installed for you. So this is the command right here for just about everybody. And then all you got to do now is go back into Vim. It's going to give you another error. No problem. What you're going to need to do is you're going to hit : You're going to type in plug install. So capital P, capital I, plug install. And now it's going to use that plugin manager that you just installed to download all of those plugins that you specified inside of that file. And then it might give you some errors like this. So you're probably going to get this as well. The reason why you're going to get this is because it's installing the things necessary for the Go. I have a Go syntax tool in here, and in this installation I don't have Go set up properly. So it's going to give me a couple of errors, but not a big deal. Just let it kind of run. And the first run is always kind of weird, and it looks like it's not done, but like it usually tells you when it's done. But it's like done. It's like doing some of this stuff. And I'll just keep letting it go. But these are all with Vim Go. You're gonna get these as well. And again, this is just because we don't have it set up properly, and it's gonna be done. You don't have to do that ever again. But now, if you ever want to look at your files, now you have everything that we had in the other side. So I have this little file tree over here, and I can see different things, and I can I can split the things like this. I can do all kinds of cool stuff with Vim. So now yours will look like mine. If you follow that, it'll look like mine. I know I went fast. I know it wasn't super duper easy, but rewind it. As soon as it's over, rewind it, see if you can go through and do it again. All you need to do essentially is grab that file, grab my file, put it in the right place. Remember, that right place is at tilde, and it needs to be called vimrc, or you can download this file and copy it into the right place. Install this Vim plugin manager and run that plug install command, and then your Vim will be set up. Now, Vim configuration is complicated. It is complicated. As soon as this is over, I'm going to post to you like 9 Vim videos, again, from the Primogen, who's the master Vim user, to help you kind of get up to speed. If you want to use Vim, you do not have to use Vim for this. I just want to give anyone who wants to dive into it the opportunity to do so, just while we have a little bit of time. You have a little bit of time to do so. If not, you can hop into VS Code. VS Code's phenomenal, and I highly encourage people to use it. It's great. There's absolutely nothing wrong with VS Code. VS Code is in a lot of ways better, but yeah, just try it out. But I'll be using Vim, so don't be surprised when you see me doing Vim stuff. I was gonna install like a Vim, a keylogger, so you can see what keys I'm hitting. The problem is, I don't think it was useful. I think it was too convoluted, to be honest. But yeah, Prime has a 15-minute video to set it up just like you did. Perfect. I'll post that exact video to take you through it. VS Code is probably better than Vim, in many ways, not every way. There are a lot of reasons why Vim is amazing, but VS Code is probably good. Probably the better. Adam's good. Adam's fine. There's nothing wrong with Adam. Adam is a text editor built and controlled by GitHub, which is interesting because now Microsoft owns GitHub, and Microsoft makes VS Code, so it's really kind of weird. But Adam, it's faster now, but I had my gripes with Adam because Adam used to be incredibly slow, but it's gotten a lot faster. I tried it out last time because I was talking so much stuff about it. I felt bad, so I tried it out, and it seemed pretty fast. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just don't think there's any reason not to use VS Code, to be 100% honest. Like, I as much as I tried to try all these out, like the plugin architecture, just everything about it is impressive. Even the change logs, the updates, like they have GIFs all over their change logs. Like, I don't know, I just don't think there's any reason not to use it. But feel free to use Atom. There's nothing wrong with Atom. You can absolutely use Atom if that's your preferred text editor. Use whatever your preferred text editor is. My recommendations are mostly for people who are unsure of what they want to use. There's no VS Code in CK exam. That is fair. That's very fair. Electron, VS Code is also an Electron app, so yeah. That's fair. I think you're right. I think it would be bad of them to shut down Atom. I think even people who don't use Atom would, people just like to hate on large corporations, but I get it. Write all of my F5 rules. Yeah, also developing like snippets and things is super easy in VS Code. Like, I don't know, it's VS Code is really nice. It's really good. The sick SVG animation. Yeah, everyone likes SVG animations. But yeah, that's what we're gonna be using. So that's it. Again, this is the journeyman level course, so I did go a lot faster than I would be going, and I didn't spend a lot of time on stuff. And tonight, honestly, if you were trying to follow along and do everything I was doing, we were just messing around tonight, just kind of getting set up. What I want you to do is, if you are like, man, I can keep up, I didn't do anything you were doing, all we need to do before next time, honestly, before next time, all you need to do is get, we're gonna be using Python for the command line tool. Interestingly enough, we could use any languages, but we're gonna hop into Python to kind of start everything off. So just make sure Python is installed by next time, and get yourself a text editor. That's about it. That is about it. The schedule is, for this class in particular, it's Tuesdays and Thursdays. And again, you can go to Decoded. This will tell you like the curriculum and stuff, that link right there. But this is Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Eastern time to around 9, between 9 and 9:30. Mondays and Wednesdays are a different class called Pipelines, which is a journey into software delivery, infrastructure, and automation. It's kind of a DevOps and SRE style course. And that's on Mondays and Wednesdays. So that's what we'll be doing. But yeah, that's it. Like I said, tonight's chill. Next time, Thursday, we'll be back. We will be creating 1 to 2 command line utilities. We'll learn all about like the ethos behind command line utilities and kind of what you're looking at. We'll probably make one with Bash really quick, because like it just makes sense to create one with Bash, just so you can kind of see kind of how things work. And then we will use Python to develop our own command line application next time. And yeah, it'll be fun. It'll definitely be fun. But thanks everyone for coming through. Welcome. I'm glad everyone's here for the journey. Now, who are we gonna go over to say hello to? Let's go say hi to who's on. Jitter Ted always comes over here. So people have been asking about people ask about Java. He's doing Java and Spring. He's a part of the Live Coders team as well. He's doing some test-driven development. So cool. We'll head over and say hello to Jitter Ted. Let's just say what's up, and I'll see you all either tomorrow if you're a part of Pipelines, or Thursday if you're coming back for this. But appreciate your time, everyone. Everyone have a great night. Let's go say hello to Jitter Ted. And we're out here in what, 10, 9, 8. Let's see if my FX still work. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Peace out, everyone. Have a great night. Time to hit that raid button.